Frustration permeated in waves off of the young princess. Where was the Prince of Peroria, and why was he avoiding her? King's Buried stood before her once again, his bored eyes lighting up politely as he requested another dance. Princess Ebony glanced down the line where the princes stood along with the other nobles. Prince Grayson was all the way at the back of the ballroom. Rage enveloped her as she observed him talking to the nobles around him. She turned her full attention to King Buried. Nova observed Ebony's actions and sensed her intentions. Nova pushed to the forefront of Princess Ebony's mind. She tried to calm her down, but it was too late. Ebony was too far gone. Her face was red and her eyes bulging as she lost control of every ounce of composure she had been showing earlier. "You!" Ebony screamed, focusing the weight of her rage on the widowed king standing before her. "You need to keep those lecherous hands off of me. I am not your plaything, and I never will be." King Buried narrowed his eyes. "Who do you think you are talking to?" he said, scolding her sternly. "I have known you since you were knee-high to a grasshopper." Princess Ebony narrowed her eyes right back at him and curled her lips into an ugly sneer. "Exactly," she exclaimed. "You are old. You are a cheat. I've heard the rumors whispered by your servants during your countless visits. I have heard the stories of your many conquests, and the sons you have running around the countryside of Lyson." King Buried's look of shock was a delight to Princess Ebony. For once he was speechless, and no longer bombarding her with his presumptuous conversation. "So pick your heir from one of those sons that you have running around in your kingdom," she yelled. "Or, as a matter of fact, pick your heir from one of the many sons you have that walk around in the kingdom of Alarion, if you want some Alarion blood flowing through your heir's veins. But no blood of mine will ever flow through the veins of an heir to your throne. I will not have you." Princess Ebony ended her rant at the king with a blood-curdling pitch in her voice. Prince Tai looked at her. He wasn't prepared for the rage that rolled like thunder as she directed her screaming rant at him. Prince Tai took a step back away from the princess as she walked up to him. Princess Ebony sneered as she observed what she considered cowardly behavior. "For all your brains and diplomacy, you have the backbone of a jellyfish." Princess Ebony grabbed his nose and gave it a massive tweak. Prince Tai groaned in surprise and pain. Nova continued to observe Princess Ebony's actions. She sensed she was not succeeding in calming her down. Nova screamed at Princess Ebony with every bit of royal authority that she could muster in her ancient veins. "Stop!" Princess Ebony ignored it. She was not a Hosentoe, and Nova could not control her. Prince Tai's eyes widened at the hideous screech of Princess Ebony's voice. "I have been nothing but kind to you," he timidly stated. Princess Ebony grabbed his nose again and gave it another massive tweak. Prince Tai groaned again in pain. "I haven't been able to concentrate on a word you have said to me all night because I can't get my eyes off of your gigantic snout," she yelled at him. "And if I lower my eyes to take my attention off your nose, I see the suit you chose from our selections for the ball. You did not get it tailored to fit you properly." Her voice raised another octave. "You were almost late arriving for my ball. Princess Ebony, let me say we encountered a strong storm. The winds were so strong that our dragons could not hold their own against it." Prince Tai's eyes were pleading for understanding. "We had to land and sit the worst of it out." The prince hung his head. "I meant no disrespect," he said quietly. The ballroom had become so quiet you could have heard a feather hit the floor as everyone watched the princess for her response. But Princess Ebony was still furious about Prince Grayson's actions. She wasn't having any of Prince Tai's excuses for 1 second. She screamed and stomped her foot as she raised up and grabbed the prince's nose. For the 3rd time she twisted it with all her might. The prince gasped in pain, roaring. He jerked his nose free from her grasping hand and covered his appendage tenderly with his own 2 hands. "What is wrong with you?" Prince Tai yelled at her. "What is wrong with me?" Princess Ebony screamed. Her rage was quickly turning into fury. "What is right with you? You're too tall, too gangly, and you think you are too smart. Your nose is so large, they could turn you upside down and use your nose to shovel the crap you spew out of your mouth. There is absolutely nothing wrong with me and absolutely nothing right with you." Princess Ebony glared with contempt at the fists hanging at Prince Tai's sides. She sneered at him again. "I wish you would," she said, nodding at his fist. Just another cowardly woman beater. I would love to see how you would do in a beatdown with me." She laughed. Prince Tai shook with a rage of his own as he started to raise his right fist. One of his companions rushed to his side and placed her hands around his fist. His best friend Alec walked up and whispered something to the prince. The prince nodded to his friend as his other companion led the prince away from Princess Ebony. "Ha ha ha ha!" Princess Ebony laughed derisively. "You are too easily controlled. I bet your dragon is skinny and weak and doesn't have 1 ounce of good sense. That's why it had to rest," she mocked. "Your dragon has no stamina. I will not be mated to a weak, spineless dragon. I will not have you," she screamed. Princess Ebony turned from Prince Tai and spied Prince Idris. The poor prince was straight in her line of vision, just a couple of men down the line. He stood there in the green fringed suit that the princess and her mother had created as a joke. Prince Idris's knees visibly knocked as his mouth hung open at the horrifying sight before him. Princess Ebony walked up to the fat, balding prince, reaching down and almost gently pushed his mouth closed on his chin. Relief spread across his face at her near-gentle manner, until the princess shook her head and started laughing when she saw the prince had begun to relax. "You," she pointed at the green prince, "will be the laughingstock of this court for years. The queen and I had this suit designed because we thought it would be hilarious to have one grotesque outfit in the collection as a joke, but it looks like the joke is on you. Literally." Princess Ebony laughed like that was the funniest thing she had said in years. "We decided that if anyone chose this outfit, they would not be worthy of any maiden of Alarion, and you were the one to choose it." It took a bit before the next fit of laughter passed, and Princess Ebony could speak coherently again. "You have no hair," she said, bobbing him on his bald head. "You have no strength in those fat little arms," she exclaimed, pinching his right forearm, instantly leaving a red mark on his skin. "You have no rhythm," she screamed as she stomped his left foot. "And you have no taste," she said as she stomped on his other foot. She jerked him up with both hands by the fringe on the jacket of the suit, pulling him up to her as far as she could stretch him. Everything happened so quickly that the poor prince had no time to react to the pain from the various parts of his body that she had assaulted. "But you do have cute little red ears, not?" Princess Ebony proceeded to give both ears a vicious twist as soon as she let go of his jacket. The prince gave a gasp of pain as he clumsily tried to jump away from the princess, and immediately put his hands over his aching earlobes. "How dare you?" Prince Idris seethed, his face as red as a pomegranate. "I have never," he began. Princess Ebony quickly cut him off. "How dare me?" she screamed, the disdain from a couple of minutes earlier, turning back into full-blown rage. "How dare you?" she continued screaming. "I have never been so insulted in my life. No woman in this world would want you, and yet you think you are worthy of me. You think just because you are the son of a king I would even consider you. Let me tell you, if I were to be your queen, you would submit to me. I would run all over you. I would rather have a stable boy as a mate than you." Princess Ebony sneered as she stuck her finger in the now speechless face of the prince in the green fringed suit. "I will not have you." Princess Ebony turned from the prince as movement caught her eyes as a couple of noblemen started to step out of the line. Prince Duro was also moving back away with them. "Do not move from this room," Princess Ebony roared in command. Everyone in the room except for Prince Grayson felt the urge to fall on their knees before her. As a result of the authority that rang in her voice, some of the weaker nobles actually did fall to their knees. They could not resist. Even King Liam, who had risen from his throne in anger, felt it. His attempt to stop the onslaught was thwarted. He could not move. Princess Ebony had tapped into the power of her dragon without even knowing it, and every dragon in the room was aware of it. It just didn't have the same effect on Radion that I did, and all the rest. Prince Grayson observed the pained expressions of everyone around him, including King Liam. It was a look of submission. Prince Grayson was confused that he felt nothing from her command. He watched in awe at the horrific transformation of his mate as she continued her rage-filled rant that he didn't realize was a direct result of his avoidance of her. Radion did not respond to Prince Grayson. He knew it was because of the mate bond between Radion and Nova. They were equals, and he did not have to bend to her authority.